Okay guys, so this is question number 9 on your test. I'm just going to put number 9 over here so you know what it is. And the question says, what is the vertex and axis of symmetry for this equation over here? Okay, so let's make sure you take notes on this. Okay, so the first thing you have to understand is how do you draw this equation over here? Okay, so let's think about this. Okay, so you gotta first understand what the vocabulary means, right? Okay, so what does vertex mean? Okay, and what does axis of symmetry mean? Okay, so first of all, the vertex is basically the lowest point or the highest point of a parabola, okay? So that is the vertex when it's upside down, and this would be the vertex when it's right side up, okay? So then, what is the axis of symmetry? That's a really important question. So that is basically the line that goes through the vertex. Okay, so this red line over here, this would be your axis of symmetry. And we already talked about this in class, but this is basically the line where if you were to fold the parabola in half, it will fold exactly onto itself. Okay, so that's the first thing you have to understand. So now the next thing you have to understand is, well, the next thing you have to understand is, okay, how do you write the vertex or the axis of symmetry? Okay, so if you want to give me the answer, of course the vertex is this point right here, right? So how do you describe a point, right? Of course you're going to give me the x value and the y value inside a parenthesis like that, okay? So when you give me the answer for the vertex, it's supposed to look like this, okay? So this is your answer for the vertex. But of course we're not going to put x and y, we're going to put numbers there. Well, what about the axis of symmetry? Well, so for the axis of symmetry, we have to write the equation of a line, okay? And this line, if you can see over here, is going up and down. So we have to find the equation of a line that's going straight up and down. So you know how it looks like? It looks like this. X is equal to a certain number. And what is this number anyway? That's the answer for the axis of symmetry. But that number is going to be this value x, because look, the axis of symmetry is where? The axis of symmetry is right there on the vertex. So that's why the equation for the vertex or the axis of symmetry is going to look like this. X is equal to a certain number right there. Okay? Okay, so now that we know what the vertex is, what the axis of symmetry is, and how we're supposed to write our answer, now let's go back to the question and take a look at it, okay? So we're going back to the question, and it says, what is the vertex and axis of symmetry for this equation? So remember, we actually have an equation. Okay, so this is the equation that we have to think about. So then in order for us to understand how to write the vertex and the axis of symmetry, we gotta draw this equation out. Okay, so now we all know how to draw that equation. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to scroll down the screen. Okay, because I need more space. If I could go down any further. Okay, so I am at a new screen. Okay, let me rewrite the equation. That was y is equal to negative 2, inside parentheses, x plus 5 squared minus 4. Okay, so remember, we have to start off with y is equal to x squared. And we already know that it's a parabola that passes through 0, 0. So over here, the vertex is at 0, 0, okay? And what is the equation for the axis of symmetry? It's going to look like x is equal to 0, okay? But that's when our equation is x squared, not for the blue equation over there. Okay, so let's go ahead and change that then. So now what we're going to do is we're going to include the negative 2. So y is equal to, if our equation is y is equal to negative 2 and then x squared, the negative is going to make the parabola go upside down like this, okay? In this case, our vertex is still at 0, 0, and our axis of symmetry is still at x equals 0. But what happened was the 2 showed up. And remember, the 2 is a vertical stretch, and what did I say about the 2? It pulls the graph up and down like that. So if we pull this parabola up and down like this, what's going to happen to the parabola? Well, what's going to happen is it's going to get skinnier and taller, right? Okay, so let me go ahead and just draw this again. So it's upside down, but then I pulled it twice as hard, and so guess what happens? Now my parabola got super skinny like that. Okay, so there you go. And so that's what happened, right? But now I want to know what happens when I add the plus 5 and the negative 4. Most of you already know this, right? What did I say when you see about seeing the plus sign? That's a liar, right? So it's kind of like this one moves to the right or to the left, okay? Right or left. But, you know, it's a liar. So if you see plus 5, it feels like you're going to the right, but you're actually going to the left, okay? So what I'm going to do is scroll down a little bit, and I'm going to rewrite my next equation, which is y is equal to negative 2, and then we're going to now include the x plus, what was it? X plus 5 squared, okay? And so let's draw the graph for that one. So what happened is now we have an upside down skinny graph, but because of the plus 5, we are now moving to the left by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we still have the skinny graph going this way. Oh, I'm going to have to scroll up a little bit more, okay? So we still have the skinny graph, okay, pointing upside down, but now we move to the left by 5. Okay, so now where's my vertex? Look at this vertex. Where's my vertex? Oh, it's at negative 5, 0. What is the equation for the axis of symmetry? Is going to be x equals negative 5. But we're not at the answer yet because we didn't include everything. What are we still missing over here? What we are still missing is the negative 4 over here. The negative 4 over here. So I'm going to go ahead and include that. Okay. Right now. So there you go. My final equation is y is equal to negative 2 and then x plus 5 squared. But now we have to include the negative 4. So this negative 4, by the way, has the equation go up or down. And this one doesn't lie. So if you see a negative 4, it just means we're going down by negative 4. So let's go ahead and draw the x and the y axis. It is still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left by 5. It is still upside down and it's still skinny, but now it also went down by 4. So I'm going to have to go ahead and put 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're at negative 4 here and negative 5 over here. So we were already down there, but now over here to the left, but now we're going to go down, and now we're going to be like right here. And our parabola is still skinny and upside down, but hey, where's my vertex now? Okay, I went to the left by negative 5, and I went down by 4. So my vertex is at negative 5, negative 4. And where is my axis of symmetry anyway? It's going to be x equals negative 5. And guess what? This is my answer, right? But on the test, of course, I want you to go ahead and, draw everything that you already see over here. But also, in addition to that, I want you to go ahead and write the answer correctly. So how are you supposed to write your answer? Well, you're going to say that the vertex is at negative 5, negative 4. And then the axis of symmetry is at x is equal to negative 5. Now on the test, you don't even have to draw any of those things that I drew for you. All you have to do is actually really just, give me this answer and give me this very last graph over here, and that is enough for me, okay? But I just did all of this stuff so you can see what you are supposed to do, okay? So there you go. Let me just go ahead and show you what we did from the beginning. This was the question. What is the vertex and axis of symmetry, right? For this equation. So we started off with the vertex, right? And talking about what the vertex is and what the axis of symmetry is. And now everything looks so crazy, right? And then we started drawing the graph. Oh my gosh, what a mess. Don't forget, the negative means our graph goes upside down. The 2 got it skinnier. The +5 is a liar. That's why we went to the left. The -4 is up or down. It doesn't lie. So we actually did go down. And so here's the graph that we drew. And we found our vertex and our axis of symmetry, okay? So hopefully you have a better understanding of question 9 after this video. Please remember to take notes, okay? Ask me if you need extra help, all right? Thank you.